morning, mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, and to all my cousins out there around the world, it's time to plug in and get the train chugging. Of course, as always, big news, sad news, disgusting news for this weird, wild, and wacky world. But we're here just to pick apart the headlines and help you understand what is going on in hopes that then you'll better be able to express yourself and impress others. Dark times are ahead of us. The US is officially withdrawing from who? From the World Health Organization. To withdraw, it's a common appearance on the show, and it just means to pull something out of. We withdraw money from the ATM. Good morning. It's been a little while, Berna. Hope everything's going fine for you. Well, hope it's better for you in Turkey than it is for them in us. To withdraw, just like we withdraw money from an ATM, we can withdraw support from a candidate or something, and we are withdrawing our participation in the World Health Organization because which, whoa, what just happened there? That was interesting. Had a temporary blackout in the middle of a pandemic, which is rocking the US. We've got a reduced relative clause there. Rocking the US, not like ow party like an AC/DC concert or something like that. It is rocking the US, meaning it's shaking us violently. And as a result, things are unsettled, things are disturbed, and people are dying. But it's interesting because we use to rock. You rock a baby to sleep. Rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. But in this case, rocking has a more negative and unsettling sort of connotation. We have another phrase in English that says, don't rock the boat. And so, like, if you're on a boat, don't rock it because, well, somebody could fall out. And it could make some people seasick, and nobody wants anybody vomiting in the boat. And so, don't rock the boat. Okay, enough of that. Moving on. Trump. We've had it several times on the show to lean into his old failures. And so instead of turning and changing things up and going a different direction, he's leaning into it. He's putting more and more weight onto it. Just like if you were to be trying to clean something off a table and it doesn't want to come in, you just lean into it, put your weight into it, you're doubling down. And so he's doubling down or leaning into his old failures in a push to reopen schools as the virus roars like a lion. I don't have any explanation why that keeps blacking out. Yes, it's roaring like a lion, and the numbers and the cases are soaring like an eagle. To lean into, take something that you're already doing and redouble your efforts, and to you're not changing things up. As we saw yesterday, he won't budge. Famous, no. Favorite little constructions? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a technical issue here. What could be the root cause of this problem? I do not know. Absolutely exactly the same as it always is, always was. Oh, yay! Everything's coming back to normal now because the pandemic worsens. Technically, we should say is worsening because it's in progress, should be a present continuous, but yes, worse comparative. See what is going on. Don't let it shake you, don't let it rock you, don't let it rattle you, Mr. James. Keep the show moving. They're going head to head and they're arguing to clash. Often we use it for colors. If you're wearing two colors that do not match, they clash. If you're wearing, say, orange and green, the 70s famous for clashing. However, oh, Zdeněk, cheering a bit. Thank you very much, Zdeněk. Ooh, that's interesting, exciting. Clash could be, yes, colors that do not go together. It's like they're fighting against each other. We often use it also for small battles or impromptu battles. A synonym could be skirmish. We've had skirmishes. Recently, India and China have had small clashes along the border, some of them fatal and or more serious than others. What is going on here? So they're clashing over the coronavirus outlook. The prospect, the most likely or probable future. In this case, it just means the likely or probable future prospect. Staggering. This is some of that very visual vocabulary that I absolutely love. To move in an unbalanced, jerky sort of way, much like a person who's really drunk trying to get home from the bar will be walking, the off balance could fall over at any moment. that is technically to stagger. However, then as an adjective, a staggering new death projection, it means shocking to the point like it hit you on the head to the point and you're kind of dizzy and you're staggering around like that. And so that's why I say it's that beautiful, very visual vocabulary. It is truly awesome. Not the death projection, because things are getting worse and worse, unfortunately. Stay safe, Samuel, and anyone else watching from the US, or, well, really, any country. Why? What is happening? If something is damning, technically to damn, and that's why we say goddamn, that's God condemning you to then live in hell. Yeah. It seems as though things are alive again. Well, okay. So let's just pretend that nothing ever happened there, huh? Because it's really nice to just turn a blind eye and sweep it under the rug. Yes, in his damning new book, which means it's very, very critical, condemning him and his behavior. Because also to condemn, while it's often used as strongly criticize, it also means to send somebody to hell, or to sentence a building to death, to be demolished. That's a standard achievement test, or one of the two key exams which are used for university entrances and the scores. You might hear about it in different TV shows. Like, I actually read through this article and that was pretty dark. Pretty dark. Yeah, you know. A bunch of Dutch guys got arrested with a bunch of guns, a bunch of drugs, and some shipping containers converted into torture sites with handcuffs and dental chairs with straps and a bunch of tools designed to remove parts of the body. Ew, icky. Okie dokie. The FBI director unleashes on China in a speech. To unleash. Well, a leash is the rope which you use to hold your dog and control your dog. And so if you unleash somebody, you're allowing them to run wild, but maybe not even just wild, because they always say unleash your true potential, and it means stop holding yourself back. And so he stopped holding himself back and really voiced his concerns and his sentiments in a very frank and honest fashion, I'm assuming. I don't think that he said anything too nasty, but probably used some forceful language. Yeah, moving on to the ongoing Facebook boycott. Yes, and to boycott something, as I explained in a video last week, it actually comes from a person's name. Charles Boycott, I don't know, in Ireland in the 1800s. However, the point is to boycott an organization, to boycott a company, means to refuse to use it as a service, because then if you are starving it of money, then it can no longer continue to function. And this is often, if not always, done as a form of protest. One aspect, one thing may seal Trump's 2020 fate. To seal something, much like I have this envelope here. You can't really tell. Oh yeah, see, there's a CD. Remember these things? Well, it's in an envelope. And if I were to seal this envelope, which I can do because I'll never use this CD, you just lick it, and then you stick it like that. It is now sealed. It is closed. Well, it would be if I'd done a better job. However, to seal something means to close it. And so to seal his fate, to seal his destiny, means that he is then, his destiny is locked down. It has been decided. Social issue may then seal his fate, decide his fate. This is just a nice colorful idiom. Newsman to the vice president, that argument is lipstick on a pig. If something is lipstick on a pig, it just means that you're trying to pretty up something that is ugly. And even if you put lipstick on a pig, it might look pretty, but it's still a pig. It still smells bad, and it's still a dirty animal, as some people would say. Although pigs are actually quite intelligent and pleasant creatures. Animals. Smug smirk and a stupid bow tie. And she is slamming him, criticizing him super hard. And the best part, and I love it because it's super bitter and it's her sense of humor. She said, yeah, well, try walking a mile in my legs. And that's just a phrase. To walk a mile in somebody else's shoes means to try and be in their position. And she said, try walking a mile in my legs. She lost her legs. And so it's kind of funny. She's doubling down, and it's kind of like a little wrapped up matryoshka of criticism in there. Moving on. and Tucker Carlson's an idiot. Just had to say that. Okie dokie. Other diseases, we haven't heard much about AIDS recently. Researchers describe a possible case of HIV remission. And remission in this case, when we're talking about diseases, if something is in remission, it's like it has gone away and it's not attacking the body at that point in time. Cancers can often be in remission. After some treatment, it appears that it is gone from the body. You never know, it may come back, but at the moment, it is in remission. Thank you for the bit, Zdenek. Much appreciated. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to see people enjoy what I do. And well, while I do like drinking lots of coffee, I do it for you. Remember that. I'm destroying my stomach lining for you, the viewer, because I love you. To curb something. In this case, they're trying to curb the second wave. But like if you're driving a car, tra-la-la, and you want to stop, you can't just stop in the middle of the road. And so you typically pull over to the side of the road, and there's a small elevated bit, and then people walk up here on the sidewalk. This little bit right here, that is the curb. And so just like you pull over, slow down, and stop a car at the curb, to curb something means to slow it down and stop it. So everyone's trying to curb bad habits. Yeah, cool. Well, we're not going to curb this broadcast, and neither will technical difficulties. And so, moving on. A mural is a huge painting on a wall, usually in some sort of memorial to something or stating support for a cause, and that is a mural. Ta-da! Coming from Latin and, well, I mean in Spanish, muralla, mural, that means wall. To vandalize something means to cause destruction to private property which is not your own. Often it is, graffiti is a form of vandalism, or defacing other people's artwork, much like spraying over it or chipping away at it. Yeah, that's vandalism, destroying other people's property. Not nice. You can find better ways to use your time. Get a hobby. All right, we've got two bright headlines here. We had it the other day as well. Missing students' remains have been identified. By whom? Probably by a medical examiner or whoever tests the DNA or the dental records or something like that. After more than 5 years, well, at least now the family will finally be able to lay them to rest and, yeah, maybe gain some closure because they've been missing. But remains are the things that are left over, much like with foods. If you eat food and you don't eat all of your food, some of the food remains on your plate. Those are your leftovers. With food, we call it leftovers. With human body parts, we don't call it leftovers, we call it remains. Thinking of more remains, disgusting. Wait, jogger out for his morning run finds a decomposing human head. Ew, gross. Yes, found a head that was slowly breaking down and decomposing off in the bushes somewhere, looking along, and you realize somebody's looking at you, and that somebody is just a head, and the flesh is rotting off of it. Ew, dark, gross. To decompose, to break down into the constituent elements of organic matter, much like leaves decompose on the forest floor, thus enriching the soil and feeding insects and other things like that. Risky nose-to-nose challenge to China in the South China Sea. He's challenging them, he's facing them, he's confronting them. Often, like with boxers, when they go meet before a fight, they touch the gloves, but they're standing there, nose to nose, toes to toes. We say toe to toe or nose to nose. Interestingly though, if you say eye to eye, that's different, because if you see eye to eye with somebody, it means that you agree with them. Ooh, excuse me, coffee burp. You're up there and you're staring each other in the eyes, trying to stare each other down. And yes, that is risky because the US and China really don't want us to start any sort of nonsensical battles or wars with each other, especially over some islands in the South China Sea. Not necessary. Running out of fuel at 30,000 feet. What happens when an airplane forgets to fill up their tank and forgets to gas up, and then you run out of fuel at 30,000 feet? What happens? You typically fall out of the sky, I'd imagine, but I don't know. Read the story, let me know. Permanently, not temporarily, permanently, forever. Sit up there and watch all the animals do their animally things. And so in a non-moving safari over a river in a train that is a hotel, that would be pretty cool. I'd go there. Want to come with me? She is getting passed over, and it means they're like, yeah, we could use you, and no, not you. How about you? And so they skipped her. She was not chosen. It was heartbreaking. She's feeling a bit left out. It's like they're revealing it. Ta-da! But it's not just showing it. They're not just revealing it. They're providing a demonstration so people can see it. To debut something is to show it in performance for the first time, much like a film can debut, a play in a theater can debut. Yeah, that's it. Ended up dying, trying to make a pilgrimage out to it to see it. And many of them were also getting in trouble, getting stuck, and or needing to be rescued and or dying. Alluring, the allure of seeing it. It was attractive in some way, much like I have an alluring aroma. Or the thing that used to catch fish, not the bait like a worm, but often there's a little metal thing that wiggles in the water and flashes. That is a fishing lure because it lures the fish, it attracts the fish. I'm just looking at the language here. Normally we hear opt for, and it means to choose to do something, like opted to do this. I opted for walking instead of using the bus because of diseases. I mean, if you opt for something, the logical opposite is opt against it, but you almost never hear this. Somebody throw it in the quotes and do a quick and dirty Google search and see how often that pops up. Probably not so often. A golfer wins a tournament after bulking up 40 pounds. That's like 17 kilos or something like that. And so he was skinny and he's bulking up. That's why guys take protein powder when they go to the gym, because they want to add muscle mass and so on, and to bulk up. Other people, they go on diets and they exercise because they want to slim down. If something is big and large and heavy, it has a lot of mass, we could say it is bulky. And so then as a phrasal verb, to bulk up, to make more bulky, to make more literally massive, having more mass, more molecules. Yay! All right, let's just put a nail in the coffin. Those were the headlines for today. For English Otherwise, that was breaking down the news for today, Wednesday, the 8th of July. If you like the broadcast, despite technical difficulties, please do click the like and subscribe and the thumbs up. Add some comments, show your support. And the best way to do that is pass it along to a friend. Spread the love and help make this world a better place. That's what I'm trying to do. You can do it with me. And so, if I don't see you sooner, I'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Have a beautiful day, and bye-bye. Stop the stream. Oh, yes.